Just a simple dump off to David. Monty will do the rest. Sorry, Devon. Oh! Oh, wow. Strength, power, speed. Montgomery is second level this year. Wow, guys. Lions are coming off their bye, looking to continue the winning ways, but will have to do so in the House of Horrors. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Johnny Gaz. Thank you for returning for another video. Let's go through the pregame news, notes, and roster updates, everything you need for this Week 6 matchup between the Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys game of the week. Let's go. Before we take that flight to Jerry World, make sure to hit the like button. It's the best free way to help out the channel. I'd also love it if you consider subscribing. We're just over 2,000 thanks to you guys. And if you hit the notify bell, it's the best way to make sure you don't miss any future videos. There is a membership option available where we do our live game play-by-play reactions and a ton of other fun content. But there's also a ton of free stuff here for you all the time. Make sure to comment down below. Who do you have in this Week 6 Game of the Week matchup? Cowboys-Lions, what do you have for a final score? Let me know down below. Let's dive into Week 6. Let's start with some injury updates. On the Lions side, they are coming in relatively healthy off of their Week 5 bye week. Returning will be All-Pro center Frank Ragnow, as well as jack-of-all-trades safety Brian Branch. They also let us know that Kirby Joseph, who suffered a minor injury this week, did return to practice on Thursday and will be available for this Week 6 Game of the Week against the Cowboys. For the Cowboys, they are dealing with some injuries, especially on the defensive side of the football. On their defensive line, they were already without defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, who is on injured reserve. They're also dealing with the Micah Parsons injury. They have come out and said he will miss this Game 6 matchup. The rookie Marshawn Nealon, the edge, also went out of the game last week. He will also be out for this matchup against the Lions. Linebacker Eric Kendricks also deemed out. Questionable will be linebacker Nick Vigil, as well as cornerback Deron Bland and Kalen Carson. It does appear that Deron Bland is leaning towards playing in this matchup. Offensively, the Cowboys will be without wide receiver Brandon Cooks, who was also placed on injured reserve. And his game time decision will be tackle Tyler Guyton. Let's go through the news and notes prior to this Week 6 matchup. Starting on the Detroit side of things, the biggest news coming out just today is that they have re-signed running back David Montgomery to a 2-year extension, which will bring him with the Lions through the 2027 NFL season. David has been very valuable to this team since coming to the Lions in 2023, being a huge part of this revamped Detroit culture and the Detroit Lions offense and running game. With the Lions, he's had 282 rushes for 1,286 yards and 17 scores, and he is part of one of the best running back duos in all of the NFL. Contract terms are still undisclosed, but it is great news for Lions camp and David Montgomery. Also in Lions news this week, they are fully aware of their history in Dallas and in Jerry World. We know about the 2015 playoff game with the picked up flag and, of course, the Week 17 ineligible controversy that led to that loss in Dallas. The Lions have actually lost their last 6 consecutive games to the Cowboys. Their last win in Dallas came 13 years ago, back October 2nd of 2011. The Lions come in very hot offensively. They are one of just 3 teams in the NFL to produce 350-plus yards in each of their games this season. Jared Goff himself is on the verge of history. We know of his perfect Monday Night Football 18 for 18. Well, coming off the previous matchup against Arizona, where he had a completion, he is currently 19 of his last 19 passes. If Jared Goff can complete his next 7 consecutive passes, bringing him to 25, that will set the new NFL record for consecutive completions. And in an effort to find additional help for Aiden Hutchinson and find that replacement at Sam linebacker for the lost Derek Barnes, the Lions have called up rookie edge rusher Isaac Ukwu, who had a fantastic preseason but was just beat out and did not make the active roster heading into the regular season. The Lions will give him a shot to get that help for Hutch. For the Dallas Cowboys, news and notes this week. Let's start with Dak Prescott, the quarterback. He was making a big deal out of the fact that the media and a lot of tension down in the Dallas area about the demolition of his current property and the rebuild of his home, which of course he is very humble about and is very grateful, but is really pushed back as far as all the media attention that it's getting, and really wish that he could move on with this next stage of his life and focus on football. The Cowboys come into this Week 6 matchup looking to end a 3-game home losing streak, which is incredibly surprising considering the fact that the Cowboys did not lose a single home regular season game in 2023. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott was in the news this week, telling the media that he was dumbfounded on his lack of touches within the Cowboys offense. His production has been way down this season, and the Cowboys running game in general has been tough to come by. We'll see what happens here against this tough running defense with the Lions. And I think the ultimate question this week for the Cowboys is, can they overcome all of these injuries, especially defensively, considering they're going up against what is one of the top offenses in all of football in the Detroit Lions? Should be an interesting matchup here for this game of the week. So let's dive into it. Week 6, we got a game of the week, Sunday, October 13th. This will be a kickoff at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. You'll get the main broadcast there with Tom Brady as your color man. Should be a very fun presentation there for Week 6. Lions coming in at 3-1 off of their bye week and very healthy, trying to ride the momentum offensively as they come into Dallas. On the other hand, the Cowboys coming in at 3-2 off of a comeback road victory over the Steelers there in Pittsburgh. Let's go through our game questions and ultimately what to look for in this Week 6 matchup, Detroit Lions and Dallas Cowboys. I think the biggest question is, can the Dallas defense contain the Lions offense, specifically their running game? Right now, the Dallas defense is 13th in yards per carry average given up, and that number is extremely skewed by the fact that they've just come off victories against the Steelers and the week prior against the Giants. Both of those teams' rushing attacks are very poor. So this Lions offense will really have the leg up. They're coming in with a healthy offensive line. We talked about David Montgomery and all the momentum there with his contract. Add in Jahmyr Gibbs, and they are a potent team offensively, especially on the ground. Can Dallas do enough to withhold or maintain that to keep this close? The second biggest question is, can the Lions passing defense hold up against the Dallas passing offense? We know the Lions struggle against elite wide receivers, and they will be facing maybe their toughest test here in Week 6 with CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. We know what these two did to the Lions in that Week 17 matchup in 2023. In general, this year the Lions still have not been able to find success against elite wide receivers. Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin, DK Metcalf all went over 100 yards in their matchup against the Lions. They're going to have to do something different to contain CeeDee Lamb. The line on this game is currently Lions minus 3.5, and the over-under set at 52.5. I think the ultimate difference in this game is what the Lions can do up front, especially on their offensive line, against this depleted Dallas front seven. The Lions' offense is controlled by their running game, this rushing attack. We talked about David Montgomery combined with Jahmyr Gibbs. Well, when they can get that running early, that seems to open up everything else offensively. The play-action game, Jared Goff with a clean pocket is truly elite. So if Dallas cannot put pressure on Jared Goff, I really think everything else opens up offensively for the Lions, and they will really put themselves ahead in this matchup. I also think the Lions will be able to do enough defensively to contain CeeDee Lamb. I think they'll give up a ton of yardage through the air, and really I think Dallas should be able to hold in their points-wise because of their passing attack. But I just don't think they have a secondary weapon. And the Dallas run game has really been non-existent, especially considering they're going to be facing a really stout Detroit run defense. That's really going to hold them down. I see Detroit controlling this matchup from start to finish because of that. I have the Lions winning this game 31-24, and I might be being a little bit generous as far as the Dallas score, but I really think the Lions control this football game, and I see them winning it. That would bring the Lions to 4-1 on the season. It would drop Dallas down to 3-3. This NFL season is really flying by. We're already to Week 6. Lions pass their bye, travel to Dallas, and get a win where they haven't won in over 13 years. What a great game of the week matchup here for Week 6. You got to let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do the Lions control this game like I'm predicting, or am I off base here? Can Dallas get an upset, get their first home victory of 2024. Thank you guys for coming along for another video. If you dig the vibe here, make sure to hit that like button for me. It's the best free way to help out the channel. I'd also love it if you consider subscribing. We're just over 2,000 thanks to you guys. And if you hit the notify bell, it's the best way to make sure you don't miss future videos. There's a membership option available. If you hit the join button, I'll walk you through all the options you have to become a part of the family. More than anything else, make sure to take care of yourself and your mental health. That's so important, and I want to make sure you come back and see me on future videos. Thank you so much for your time. Have a fantastic NFL Sunday. Go Lions.